So, hello everyone. I'm Kevin Meek, if you don't know already, the LNPG's insurance man. And I'm here today, very happy to be here with Dr. Giuseppe Paladini. He is of the Stepping Bricks community. He's the founder of it and a mentee there as well as Paladini Property Solutions, who we help him with. So, the idea of this chat today, Giuseppe, really is just to go through, your journey as a landlord, how you came to be a landlord. As we think it might be beneficial for other LNPG members and other landlords to hear your story and hear what you've been doing. Thanks for joining us. I'll hand it over to you. And how did your journey start?
Thanks, Kevin. Thank you very much for inviting me. And hello, everybody there. How I started. So I started about 4.5 years ago. I was a university lecturer in Stirling University in Scotland, and I was living my normal 9-to-5 life, let's say. But there was something missing. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people resonate with this when they work. It's not just 9-to-5, to be honest. Generally, you work a lot more than that. Mm-hmm. But there was something missing. For me, it was time with the family. So I was like looking around and see all these people doing different businesses. I had no idea about properties before. I was doing from time to time, Airbnb, things like that. I didn't even know it was called like serviced accommodation. It was an actual strategy you could benefit from. So I was just curious, and I started typing on Google. You will laugh at this.
Yeah.
How to get rich. And then I said,
that's how it starts.
Legally,
yeah. That's the important bit. Yeah, legally.
and then a lot of things came up, Amazon and stuff like this, and then property was number 2 actually in the list. I was like, property, might be for rich people only, people with money. Mm-hmm. And in my case, I only had this house, so I bought it like 2 years before, searching this on Google, and then I was like, okay, it's not for me. But then by learning and educating myself a little bit more, then I started to understand there were ways to get into property without the need of huge amount of money. Now, of course, if you have money, Kevin, you're advantaged. Let's be honest. But if you don't have money, you have a house, for example, in my case, I had equity in the house. Mm-hmm. So what I've done, which in my mind was like, oh, it's super risky, don't do it. But at the same time, it was like, I have no choice. I have to do it if I want to, live the life on my own terms. And then I phoned the bank and I said, do I have equity in the house? And they said, yeah, you have £27,000. I was like, okay, can I pull it out? Because, Kev, you can pull it out tax-free because it's equity, it's still debt.
Yep.
Okay. And I was like, okay. So they say, yes, you can pull it out. It's a bit more expensive than the normal mortgage, but you can do it. And then the next day they transferred me the money and I bought my first buy-to-let. So that was, in a nutshell, what happened when I started. Right. And for me, it was just like, okay, this works like magic. Where is the catch? Because you always expect that kind of thing.
Yeah, of course.
But to be honest with you, there was no catch. There was a lot of hard work, a lot of difficulties, a lot of fears, but it was possible. So what I've done, I started to educate myself even more and more with different training companies, books, YouTube, podcasts, a lot of free tools as well around that you can find.
Right.
And then I understood that this was a game that I wanted to play.
Got you. Understand. So you're saying what you put in is what you get out as well, really, isn't it? You've got to put in the hard work to reap the rewards. So I mean, at the moment, then, what's your the portfolio of properties you've got? What's in it at the moment? What type of properties? What sort of lets do you do? That kind of thing.
Yeah. So my portfolio currently is about 20 properties. Mm-hmm. Not all of them mine. Some of them are on a rent to rent.
Right.
So rent to rent serviced accommodation, because serviced accommodation is one of my businesses. And then type of properties, I have a mix of 2-bedroom semi-detached houses, flats, both 2-bedroom and 3-bedroom. Right. I remember for the LNPG community here, the flats in Scotland are freehold, so you don't have to pay the lease on the flat. So it's a lot more convenient compared to England, for example.
Mm-hmm. And is that one of the reasons you've done that? You find it a lot easier.
Yeah.
exactly.
I don't like paying ground rent. I don't like paying extra money on top of, from the profit, let's say. So
Yeah.
if the flat, let's say, for example, a flat is, I don't know, £70,000, 2-bedroom flat.
Mm-hmm.
This 2-bedroom house would be, in this current market, probably 110, 115, depends where you are in the UK, of course. I'm just talking about my area.
Yeah.
And then the rent you're getting for a 2-bedroom flat compared to a 2-bedroom house is not that much different. So if you're talking about cash flow,
no brainer. Yeah.
But then again, there are flats and flats. There are flats with in a huge building where you have one shared entrance and then a lot of buildings, a lot of flats inside, or you have separate entrance. So it really depends what you like the most.
Yeah, understand. Okay. Are you set on staying with residential properties, or have you thought about expanding into other types of property area?
Yeah, my property strategies are actually quite a lot. There is a mix of buy to let, rent to rent, serviced accommodation, rent to buy, where we rent it to a tenant that is going to buy in 5-7 years time. Then I've done some commercial as well. I didn't continue with commercial because I was more focused on buy to let and residentials. But yeah, there are so many strategies you can do. But in my case, I always try to focus on one, master it, and then move to the next one, because it's very easy when you're starting out to like a lot of property strategies and never start. Mm-hmm. It's a lot easier than actually starting.
Right, understand. So what's the main what's the main thing that draws you to this? You're not allowed to say money, but no. What is the main thing you enjoy about being a landlord?
Good question. No, money is just a currency. Money is something that allows you to be, to the place where you want to be. So, for example, for me, it was family. I wanted to spend more time with the family, and being a 9-to-5 job, and then subsequently in a 8 to midnight job, then it didn't help at all. Mm-hmm. So I needed to get some time to spend with the family. So that is the main reason why I became a landlord. Now, if you ask me what's the most enjoyable part of being a landlord, apart from, the time I was saying before, is also when you see the look in the face of the tenants when they come into the property, when you give the keys. I think the first day is the best part that drives me to the next project.
Yeah,
when you get a property that is run down, then you refurbish it, and then you make it, beautiful, and then the tenants walk in and they love it, and you say, okay, I'm doing the things correctly. Excellent. And then you give them the keys, and that's done, and then you can move to the next project. But that moment when you give them the keys, I think that is the best moment of being a landlord.
You're as excited as they are, aren't you?
I am.
Yeah. And it's nice, isn't it, I suppose, to see this. We've spoken about this before, haven't we, about you seeing the journey from start to finish as well. You're seeing somebody just first think about what they need to do, then you're giving them the keys to their property and helping them do it. That's it must be really, really rewarding. That's part of the reason you do the mentee thing, isn't it? It's you enjoy doing that.
Yes, I'm a mentor. So you mentioned before the Stepping Bricks Academy. And then what I like about this, and it's not open like to a lot of people, like thousands of people. I only do small groups. The only reason why I do that is because I'm involved 100%, and I was in that position, and I felt so frustrated when I see people that already paid for other mentorships, or they want to start in property for 10 years, 20 years, and they don't do it. Right. I get really frustrated because as a background, I'm also a business mindset coach. So I work a lot on mindset, and that is the main reason why a lot of people don't start, because there is a lot of fear, which is completely human by the way. So there's nothing wrong with it. I have fears as well. The fears just shifts from one place to another one.
Right.
Once you learn how to ride a bike, then your fears of riding the bike shifts to something else, probably driving a car. So it's always there. You need to live with it, but you just need to control it and move to the next level, let's say. So for me, being a mentor, that is the most satisfying part, when I see the results rather than I see people struggling, because I don't like it. I've been there and I don't like it.
Yeah, that's right. It's the most rewarding part of it, isn't it? Making people happy. I mean, well, moving on now to I wanted to get your opinions really, as somebody that I've certainly been speaking to a lot recently. And we've been signing up some of your properties for insurance and seeing what you're doing with them. What I wanted to get your opinion on why people don't like insurance companies. Why is it, Giuseppe? Why don't they like them?
I think it's about the salespeople. It's not about insurance companies. So every time we receive a sales call, we tend to defend ourselves. We don't like to be sold. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
So if you see some person on the street like giving you leaflets and then they try to sign you up to something, you avoid that person, right?
That's you do. Yeah.
It's natural.
Yeah.
Now the problem with that is that if you like to be sold, then you can't sell either. And when I say sell, I don't mean exchange of money. Sell means even when you're making a new friend or making a relationship, starting a relationship, that is selling yourself, your skills, your knowledge, your expertise, whatever. So we have that kind of mentality that we don't like to be sold or there is a catch. And that's why we are afraid when we receive a phone call from an insurance broker, say, your insurance is going to expire. Would you like me to give you a quote? I say, wait, how did you get my number, first of all? So the first reaction is that one. So it's not about you, it's about the approach that some people have.
Got you. Understand. So I mean, did you see something different with Protect My Let via LNPG with that?
Totally. It's been night and day, completely different. I mean, not because you're here, Kevin. I told you several times on the phone, for me, it's a peace of mind. I'm very busy with lots of businesses, like lots of other people as well. And we don't want to, check every single date or expiry and then a lengthy process for getting an insurance. With you was, I always test people, in terms of like, I'm doing this project with this person, or let me try with one first. And then if it works, I do more.
Makes sense.
With you was like, since the very first insurance that we did together, it was like, okay, Giuseppe, this is the quote. 1 hour later, here is if you want to start it, just make the payments. That's it. I said, that's it.
Right.
And you couldn't believe it. It took me weeks sometimes to get something. And with you was 1 hour. And then, when we added more insurances, I think what differentiates you from the others, let me tell you this, is the easiness of doing the things. For example, you can add property on the same insurance policy, on the same portfolio.
Yep.
And then what I like as well is I don't have different expiry dates, but you add the second one and the third one in order to expire the same date of the first one. So when the time comes for renewal, that's a lot easier to do all together.
That's the idea. We've part of the reason Nick chose us, I think, as well, was because we understand landlords are busy people. Yeah. You haven't got time to be on the phone. You've not got time to chase us up for things. So, we understand that. That's where we differ, I think.
Now, Kevin, remember, if you have 1 or 2 properties, that's not an issue. But when you start to have 15, 20, that is an issue.
Yeah, understand that completely. You've also been lucky or unlucky to experience the next bit of it, haven't you? You had an incident back in, was the storms in November, wasn't it? I think you had
November, Arran in Scotland. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, I remember where I was when I received the message. You sent me a message saying, "Oh, this has happened. Is this covered?" And I remember where I was. We were out for dinner. I was out for dinner with the team. Yeah. So I thought, oh right, hang on a minute. I dropped everything and I went and checked all your policy stuff. But I couldn't find everything I need. So I got back to you in the morning, I think, didn't I? Once I checked it. But I remember where I was when you told me. So how did it go?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was. We were out at the time. How did you find that process?
Okay, so I never done a claim before. So that was my first claim. And the first, again, that's a good thing for me, a nice feeling to know that I have one person to deal with. One insurance, one person. So I called you straight away. Well, I sent you an email and says, is this covered? Because we bought that property probably a few weeks before the storm came.
Yep.
So it was a brand new policy. And I say, Kevin, is this covered? Can you let me know? And then the full garage basically was blown away by the storm.
Yeah.
So it was a £3,000 damage there. And then you came back next day, says, yeah, it is covered. Let's start the claim. So you send me a link, and I just need to follow your instructions, which was quite easy. Of course, you need to give the quotes and everything for repairing or replacing whatever you lost. But that process was super easy.
Great, that's good to hear. I mean, that's another thing we do as well. Part of the reason Nick chose us too. We've got like you can always contact us if you need something moved along a little bit quicker. It's something we can do for you. It really does benefit you having that one person to speak to, doesn't it? Than getting a different person each time and whatever. I mean, we've got some really like good insights of those parts of insurance. Is there anything that like Landlord Insurance doesn't do at the moment that you'd like to see it do, or that you've heard any other landlords say as well?
Not I can think of, to be honest. Apart from not even apart from, because there's public liability, which is included. Then you can decide if you want content or just a building insurance. So I think everything is there from what I can see. At least from what I need, everything is there.
That's right.
And I mean, if you see on my back here, you see different folders. Each of these is a house, is a property. So for me to go in each folder and to search for the person to call about that insurance, it's going to take me ages every single time. But if I know, for example, Kevin, you from Protect My Let are there for everything, I know that just give you the address and you can sort it out. I think that is already a huge step forward.
Good.
So I can't see anything missing at this stage.
That's good. I'm glad you find it valuable. That's our aim. That's what we aim to do. We've covered a lot about your journey, Giuseppe. Thanks very much for your time today. Hope LNPG members and other landlords and people in the community can benefit from some of the things we've gone over. Just to finish off, have you got any final top tips or tricks for any landlords or aspiring landlords in the community?
Yes, get systemized. Get systems in place. For me, at the beginning, 1 or 2 properties, 3 properties, probably you want to do everything yourself. And I had my nice, lovely spreadsheet with all the stuff there, the expiry date and all the things, repairs and everything. But then it gets really complicated because if you grow as a business, then you have a lot more things to do. And you need to outsource these things. Now, LNPG is a great partner for everything. I'm not saying because we are in these communities, because I'm experiencing on my skin. So LNPG allows you to outsource all these little tasks that take a lot of your time. And it's better to give it to somebody that is much better and faster than you to do the same task. And then you can focus on your business rather than in your business. So for me, insurances, for instance, in this case, was a huge headache, and then in this case, I just know that I call you or send you an email and it's sorted. And that's super easy. I think landlords should consider to outsource and to scale up the business once they leverage their time with other experts, not experts, but professionals and other people that are in the field. They know the things better than us.
Fantastic insight. So there you go. Brilliant. Well, thanks again then, Giuseppe. I know you're a very busy man, and thanks very much for your time this afternoon.
Thank you very much, Kevin. And
no problem at all. Certainly will.
Bye-bye.
Bye.